We've made quite a few dust collection tutorials over the years, so I get a lot of comments and questions about dust collection filters. I'll link to a couple great videos on the subject in the description below. But one question I see from time to time is perplexing to me. Not perplexing that folks ask it. I totally understand that, because I find it a little confusing as well. What perplexes me is why some filters have agitators inside for cleaning. This seems like a bad idea to me. Maybe I don't understand it properly and some filter company is going to comment here and fill me in, but it's going to be a hard sell because these paddle style beaters inside the filters seem to defy common sense. A pleated canister filter is made from paper. It's durable paper. Sometimes they call it synthetic fiber weave or something like that, but it's essentially paper. What do you think will happen if you aggressively rub something across these thin pleats on the inside? With frequent cleanings, it just seems to me that you could not help but wear it out prematurely. The filter media is just too thin and fragile to endure much of those abrasions. You may not notice it, but common sense suggests that you're going to create little pin-sized holes and tiny tears that then may let the fine dust escape into the air. Maybe if you're really gentle, you only turn the crank slowly and you make only a couple revolutions at a time, but that's not what people do. They grab that handle and they crank it as fast as they can so they can get their filter really clean. And since it's so easy, they do it frequently. Because a clean filter is an efficient filter, right? I've never seen independent tests on this, but common sense tells me you've got to be killing your expensive filter if you're being too aggressive with it like that. If your system has an internal agitator, I'd suggest using it sparingly, if at all. Now here's how you clean a filter. Put on some gloves so you don't cut your hands on the outer mesh and firmly tap all over the outside. Don't beat the crap out of it. You don't want to leave dents in the mesh. Just knock free the worst of the dust caked between the inner pleats. Now blow air on the outside of the filter. This is great because then all the mess is going to stay inside the collector instead of in the air of the shop. A leaf blower works pretty well for this, believe it or not. Keep the nozzle close and go over it slowly several times. If you don't feel like the leaf blower cleaned it well enough, you could use compressed air, but don't go overboard. Turn it down to about 60 to 80 psi and hold the nozzle a few inches away. This is especially true if you have an ultrafine nano filter, which features a secondary inner layer of fibers that you don't want to delaminate from the pleats. So don't put the nozzle right up to the side of the filter and just blast it. I found a flat nozzle on Amazon that works great for this because it fans the air out to cover more area, which makes the process faster and I think safer for the filter media. I'll link to it below this video. How often should you clean your canister filter? Well, it depends on how often you use it. I wouldn't necessarily set a schedule. I would just keep an eye on the dust collector's performance. If it seems to be sucking up less dust than it used to, clean the filter. I think that should amount to once or twice a year in most fairly active garage workshops, less if you really don't use your dust collector that much. Now what if you don't have a canister filter? Get one. I understand they're expensive, but filter bags kill your suction and they pump the finest dust into the air right at head level where you can breathe it the most efficiently. You will be amazed how much better a single stage dust collector like this one performs if you upgrade to a canister filter. I'll link to the one I recommend below this video. If such an upgrade is out of the question, then you can clean your bag filter by shaking it vigorously in place. Don't take it off the collector and bang it out. Definitely do not wash it. You'll remove the coating from the cloth and destroy its ability to filter. In fact, you don't want to clean a bag filter too well because a little dust cake will actually help keep in more of the fine dust. Be sure to check out those links below. You'll learn a lot about dust collection and filters for the small shop. And we'll see you next time. If you sharpen your tools by hand, do yourself a favor. Try one of Trend's diamond stones. You can start with a card, but before long, you'll want a full bend stone because these things cut fast, they stay perfectly flat, and you can go from stone to strop to wood and be back to work in under a minute. I'll link to my favorites in the notes below this video. Wait, don't go yet. If you're new here, please subscribe and remember to ring the bell. I would really appreciate that. Give us a thumbs up, or better yet, leave us a comment. I always read them. And be sure to check out the latest issue of Stumpy Nubs Woodworking Journal. It's always packed with tips, tricks, and tutorials designed to make you a better woodworker.